In 1969, I was a new devotee, 1 year, but I was fortunate to be during the service of Masada Shivakram, and he was in London. So I was attached in the service almost immediately, and I was thinking how I can continue the service when Srila Prabhupada leaves. He was due to be there for 3 months though, so I was thinking from the beginning how I can. So I spoke to Prabhupada about it, and he said, let us see what Krishna wants. That was his. But then it looked like I wasn't going to have. So, at one point I said to Sri wants to do this and assist him in service there. We're just the two of us. When I said that, real anger. Oh no, just the two of us. It is not your duty to contemplate what is your service. Your part. You should do it every year. Wow. But this, we didn't like. Try to put a handle and proper there, met and kind of making him equal. He demanded loyalty, at least from me, maybe not others. But that lesson that I learned, that he wanted me to be loyal to him, not some other person who was a good singer or something. He wanted me to be loyal to him. That helped me throughout the years, and especially after Prabhupada left. There was only Chori, Avod. So if you want to do something you really think would be pleasing to Prabhupada, you have a right. A Guruji, Prabhupada says here, that because he's the Acharya, we read in the Nectar Devotion, chapter 6, it explains very seriously, very simply, that the principle is we have to accept the spiritual master, and he should be in the line of the discipline. And he should be, you could say, under the guidance of the Acharya. And that's the way we all should be. Otherwise, how is this movement going to remain? The 10,000 years, like Prabhupada wanted. So we want to keep it centered. Prabhupada. Or another quick story. Once I was massaging Prabhupada's feet, and I learned later that I wasn't supposed to speak so much, but I didn't. I just spoke whatever came into my mind. But I learned later from Harisari and Shruti Kirti that when you're giving massage, especially you should, so when we came back to America, we were in London. And if the Prabhupada really leave that the next day, and I again spoke. I shouldn't have, because he was, when he took massage, he wasn't sleeping, but it was a resting time. So I said to him, out of his rest. He said, no, Prabhupada. Criticize me. So my godbrothers would call me Prabhupada a good boy, because I wrote this, I'm coming out with a book on my exchange with Prabhupada. But it wasn't, it was like, he was like a good boy. When he was sitting from the side, he was so straight. I just felt he's such a good boy. And, it was mother's work, so I kind of, and when I told him that, he accepted it, he just relaxed, became a good boy again. He was my master. He's my master. But I need to take home. Okay, so what's happening here? Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing this story. Did you hear a few words about me this morning? Everybody was there?
No, it's devotee.
Maharaj was in Japan, and there almost every day, 6 to 8 hours, he was distributing so many Prabhupada books and magazines. And almost for 3 years, he kept on doing this seva, and out of the Lakshmi that was collected, they built a new center there. Maharaj, you're inspiring us by your example. That's why I'm sharing this story. Why you wrote a letter to Prabhupada?
I was here for it. I was 26.
There was somebody else. So these are some stories which I know about how he is so much inspired to follow Prabhupada and ready to go anywhere where Prabhupada says, and even in difficult places like Japan, Taiwan, distributing books for such a long. But would you like to share some stories from there?
The point is, if Prabhupada gave assignment, I wasn't afraid, because I knew that Prabhupada was sending me to some place that Krishna would protect me. I wasn't worried. But some devotees didn't, it's also a question of comfort zone, right? You don't like to go outside of a country. But it wasn't a big thing. I mean, Japan is a very civilized country. Or where else did he send me? Well, first he sent me to London in 1969, and then he sent me to Japan. He gave me sannyas to send me to Japan. And then he sent me to Taiwan, I went to Korea. He sent me from Delhi to Chandigarh. So he was ready to send me to China. The story was that from friction between the Radha Damodar party, led by Kirtan Krishna Maharaj, and the temple president, because they were coming into the temple, and they were men were leaving the temples and joining them. And the temple presidents got upset. So with that year in Michael, they had a meeting. And the temple presidents complained. When the Prophet heard about it, he didn't like it. He said, this will cause fratricidal war. He didn't want war. I hope there is now some kind of war going on here between the West and the East. I hope, I pray sincerely that there won't be schism in ISKCON. Because the first schism is difficult. The second one is easy. Third, fourth, fifth. Like Gaudiya Math, they have 77 Gaudiya Maths. But we start dividing ISKCON. There's no, come back 100 years, there won't be one ISKCON, there'll be 100. So the first one is the big one. We haven't had any schism. We've had some splinters, people leave, big sannyasis or something, but nothing serious. But if we break the society into Krishna West and Krishna East, and I don't think it's a problem. That's all I can say. So hard to make this a workable system to go on, so that the mission would go on after he left. He saw what happened to his spiritual movement. He was not happy with that. He was trying to taxing his brain to make a system that would hold together after he left. He was very concerned about that. Even starting from 1969, he was forming the GBC and worried about what would happen when he left, because his health wasn't so good from the beginning. He had a heart attack on the boat. But he was concerned, what's going to happen? So how we remain united, I just pray that we continue to be united. Okay, what was I saying? About where he sent me, yeah. So then we were in Mayapur in 1975, and Prabhupada's servant came and said, Prabhupada wants to see you in his room. So I came into the room, Prabhupada was alone. He said, so I think you want to go to China, mainland. I've been in Hong Kong and Taiwan. So I thought, China, but it's communistic. So I said, but I didn't say anything. I said, well, if you want, Prabhupada, I can go. He said, yes. I want you to go with Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So he said, go and call him and tell him to come. So I went to Tamal's room. Tamal was there. I said, Prabhupada wants to see you in his room. So immediately he jumped up. He was so smart. He knew what happened. He knew what it was. I'm not going to go, he said. In other words, I didn't hang out with Tamal, so if I'm coming with the message from Prabhupada for Tamal, then we knew what it was. So he said, I'm not going to go, and he ran out of his room. I was left alone in Tamal's room that moment. So I went down, and and he was in the toilet. And there were three, the executive committee of the GBC were waiting for Prabhupada to come out. And they were choreographed. Choreographed when they all dance the same way. But that they all be on the same page, how to deal with Prabhupada when he comes back out of the toilet. And I didn't like it. I said, what are these guys? But they were heavy. So when Prabhupada came out, it was such a heavy scene. Prabhupada putting up feedback, his hand was shaking somewhere. So the Madhavisa spoke first. He said, you know, Shri Prabhupada, there's two sides to the story, meaning the Radha Damodar and the temple presidents. So I got in. I said, no, there's only one side, Prabhupada's side. Boy, and they looked at me with the right, I'm like, they were doing war, actually. In Australia, a lot of these group people was collecting hundreds and thousands of dollars. He was giving $50,000 every month on average to build the Vrindavan Gurukul and so on. He appreciated it. But they felt powerful because they were doing something substantial. And they, who was this nice to me? I didn't know. I was a nobody. So then it went on. Anyway, finally, Prabhupada got heavy with Tamal. He said, okay, you're no longer in charge of Radha, you stay here in Mayapur and chant Hare Krishna. Then Tamal surrendered. He said, okay, I'll go, but I'm going to go with Trivikrama Swami. I'm going to go with Trista Junior. And I was thinking, for the first time Tamal came to London, he threw me out. He sent me to Japan, Germany, because I wouldn't be his man. He expected people to be his men. I thought, I'm already Prabhupada's man. So that's been kind of renovated that way. And the Guru Reform movement also, after Prabhupada left, I was protesting that they were imitating Prabhupada instead of following in his footsteps. And I saw it directly. And somebody didn't throw that. I was like, I was the possibility to throw that. Ramesha, practically all of them throw that. Because they imitated instead of following. So, because Prabhupada knew that I would go wherever he sent me, so he, and then Prabhupada later, like a year later, the same executive committee was there. They wanted to have me to be, to have a lot of dialogue on bus. Again, it was small, because it was for monkey event. So they called me to their side and they were saying I should go. And I said, no, I already got an assignment from God. So then the next morning, our tea, Robert certain servant taps me on the bed. I mean, I've been called as a few times, but never been on party. So the mother didn't come. He was smarter than he sent them. So he wasn't sure how it would turn out. So then Prabhupada, like with his hand, he made an asana, he said, sit there. So I sat there. Then Prabhupada said, okay, he's here, now you can speak on his face. Prabhupada was sort of straightforward. He didn't like behind the back. So I said, they started in, we're selling so many books, we need to have another bus party this way, like that. They were making the argument. And I was just quiet because I had already got my assignment from Prabhupada. And so I didn't say anything. The prelogue to that is, and early on, Prabhupada said, I know you can't work very well with the GBC, so you can work directly with me. So I kind of circumvented the GBC, and I would get my assignment from Prabhupada every year, and I would report to him, and then he would give me another assignment with my fortune. Of course, it was a problem that the Prabhupada got divided because then who did I have to work with? Anyway, so we're back to the point that, where was I? Oh yes, okay, so I came in and I was just quiet, and then Prabhupada was quiet. But they kind of saw that they weren't going to be able to get what they wanted. Then Prabhupada said, why is this envy starting, even in my presence? I saw this envy amongst God brothers when my spiritual master left the planet. But even in my presence, why is this envy amongst God brothers coming out? So obviously I felt very protected that even though they were GBC and I was just only sannyasi, but Prabhupada protected me. He didn't allow them to bully me. And then of course after the meeting, Rukiba came to me and he said, I guess we both were wrong, and he paid his obeisances, which was a big thing for Guru Kripa. Does he ever come here? He's like a gangster type, but he really loves Prabhupada. He's very loyal to Prabhupada. No, really. And Tamal also. I mean, I may speak of the story, but at the last year, he did a service that I couldn't do. He was so expert dealing with Prabhupada, bringing him to America, bringing him back. Prabhupada really appreciated his service. And I had a lot of respect for both Guru Kripa and Tamal. And in Madhav used to do a lot also. He left the body now, but in other words, it was like sometimes puppies of the same litter, they fight. So it was coming something like that. I never had envy or a grudge against them. It was just, that was the nature. We were all kind of pushing each other, and naturally there's going to be some misunderstanding. But they all love Prabhupada, that's the point. Okay, I'm going to be quiet now.
About to speak a few words about it.
Sorry. Firstly, I thank all the ISKCON Chowpatty, the Gopinath Mandir devotees for kindly accepting this request and order your appreciation for His Holiness Kirtan Swami Maharaj, spiritual master. I am very grateful and express this thanks on behalf of all the disciples and well-wishers of Guru Maharaj. And also please convey my gratitude for higher authorities, temple management and so on. I was in touch with Nandula Prabhu and Baladev Prabhu for this arrangement. Thank you very much. I feel really unqualified to speak in front of all senior devotees here in my spiritual master, but I feel this is an honorable service to glorify, to get an opportunity to glorify my spiritual master, who is duly representing Srila Prabhupada, very dear to Krishna. So I thank Krishna and Srila Prabhupada for this opportunity. What can I say? There are so many things about Maharaj. One profound thing which has attracted to me towards my Guru Maharaj was his, you can always hear Srila Prabhupada's name from Maharaj. In lecture or in Kirtan or in discussions, Maharaj always says Srila Prabhupada said this, Srila Prabhupada said this, Srila Prabhupada said this. And Maharaj also says that is the bona fide way of describing or speaking in spirituality, that we should say Krishna say like this, then it is authentic. Or Srila Prabhupada said in this way, it becomes authenticated. This means we are representing the Acharya. I saw, so Maharaj is very loyal to Srila Prabhupada, and not only that, Maharaj is very affectionate and kind in his own nature towards any devotees. Like I remember one past time, like how Maharaj felt when the first time saw Srila Prabhupada in the room in this 26th Avenue, where Srila Prabhupada was sitting nearby a small desk, and there are very few people, no one to guard, and this is not a good locality, anyone could come in, and the Maharaj's feeling was like that Srila Prabhupada was very vulnerable in this situation. So it shows like his Kshatriya protecting something. So similar thing I have also experienced towards all the devotees or newcomers or anyone who is interested in taking the process. Whether it could be completely a new person or very senior devotee or very old devotee also, Maharaj treats same way while he is neither envious or nor attached on the material platform to anyone. This is one wonderful quality I appreciate. And since the fall of communism, Guru Maharaj has been visiting Poland and initiating gurus and leaders, visiting in these previous communistic countries. But in Poland, mainly 1998 or 9, after the leader has been out of the position, there are practically no 30 degrees and so on, and been inspiring devotees all over Poland. Doesn't actually care whether it is to be traveled in a train or in a bus or in a taxi or anything. Even though Maharaj is such a senior leader, he is willing to the mission. He was awestruck. Actually, I personally felt very fortunate because in India, even as a senior devotee, it's quite difficult. Like you have the system, proper organization, hierarchy, this Vaishnava etiquette, and approaching seniors through their seniors and so on. But so on. He is concerned about so many devotees around the world whenever willing to take the role of any position or any designation just to I have and committing so many mistakes in my service due to my own shortcomings. Please give me and please bless me. I can improve in my service, and that's all. No words from me more. Words are not enough to glorify the spiritual master. Whatever I could, I tried.